Hi and welcome to Clifta Fit. Today is an arm day and this is part one of two parts, and I'll post this workout at cliftafit.tv. and we're starting with barbell curls for biceps, and this is 30 pounds. I did 20 reps. And started off light. I always like to start off light and get warmed up and get the blood in the muscle that I'm training. And I prefer to do that than to get on a piece of cardio equipment like the treadmill or the bike. I always start with a lighter weight for whatever body part I'm training. And I like to do a good at least 20 or 30 reps or so. The next set is 45 pounds. And I did 12 reps. Starting to get a little bit heavier. And I always keep my knees slightly bent, usually when I do anything standing, like this, or even shoulder stuff. The slight bend in your knees helps you to engage your core and give you more stability, and it protects your lower back. And so I did 12 reps with this. And the last set, I did 55 pounds and did 6 reps. And I'm kind of using a little pop off the bottom to give me a little bit of momentum to get past the sticking point. Because if I were to just stand and try to curl it up, I wouldn't be able to get past sticking point coming up here, like right there. So when you pop it, use your legs to pop it up. It gives you momentum so you can get past that, and you don't have to lean back and put added pressure on your lower back. So now we're moving on to alternating dumbbell curls. 15 pounds, I did 20 reps, so it was 10 on each side. And again, I'm using my knees a little bit, giving a little bit of a pop. If I were to start off with these first, I usually start off with 10 pounds, but since I already did the barbell curls and I'm warmed up, I jumped right to the 15s. And next set, 20 pounds, I did 10 reps, so that's 5 on each side. These are starting to get pretty heavy for me. When you're little, 5-pound jumps are pretty big. So I'm using a little pop. And when I curl up, I always curl and lean into the side that I'm doing. It seems like it gives you a tighter squeeze at the top. And I always keep my palms up. As soon as I pass my hips, I keep my palms up. And this third set, I did a drop set. So I went up to 25 pounds. And a drop set is when you do one set and another set and another set, one right after the other, where you're dropping the weight on each set. And again, I'm keeping my palms up. As soon as I pass my hips, palms up, and palms up all the way down too. Sometimes when you start to get heavy, when you let it down, you tend to like turn your hand in, but you want to try to keep your palm up so it keeps it totally in the bicep. And I did 8 reps with those, 4 on each side. And no rest, drop down to 20 pounds and keep going. Did 8 reps with these, 4 on each side. Arms are getting a little bit tired. Again, you want to make sure you keep it in your biceps by keeping your palms up. And even when it's heavy, it kind of gets hard to control the weight on the way down. You want to try to control it the best that you can. And this will be the last of the drop sets, dropping down to 15 pounds. and I did 16 reps. I have a slight bend in my knees. My core is engaged. I'm using a little bit of pop as I get tired to get the weight up so I don't have to lean back. When you doing curls, you want to try to avoid leaning back. When the weight gets stuck about the halfway point, maybe a little bit, well, right around the halfway point, natural tendency is to want to lean back to get the weight up, and that's really bad on your lower back. So you want to use a little pop instead. So that was it for biceps, and I'm moving on to triceps. Bench dips. Notice how I scoot my hips back and I keep my chin up. My hands are fairly close together. I call it butt width apart. So you want to put them right behind your bottom, and you want to keep your chin up throughout the whole thing, and you want to make sure that your bottom stays heavy. You want to just make it go towards the ground. Sometimes as you get tired, if you let your hips start to go more forward, or you're trying to go too deep, you'll put pressure on your shoulders instead of your triceps. So you want to try to keep your bottom moving straight up and down. And I think I did, in my head I thought I did 40, but I think it was only about 38 or 39. So again, hands close together. When you set your feet up like this is the hardest way. If you you can set one leg down to spot yourself like I did at the end of that set, and I will on the next 2 sets too. You'll see at the end of the set, I set one leg down to spot myself when I got tired. And then if you put your feet, both feet down, that's the easiest way to do bench dips. So you can kind of gradually work up to having both feet up on the bench. And I have my fingers loose, and I'm thinking of pushing up and back. I'm keeping most of the weight on the heel of my palm. And that really puts it in the tricep. This is the 3rd set. I think that last set was about 28. Again, in my mind I thought I did 30, but watching this again, I think I only did 28 or 29. And on this one, I did 20 reps. My triceps are getting pretty pumped already. And we're going to move on to part 2.